My name is Everly Hairston. I live in Los Angeles, California. I've been a member of the National Federation of the Blind since 1987. I started out as a teacher in the 1960s, but prior to my becoming um, a teacher in New Jersey, moving from North Carolina to New Jersey, I was a civil rights activist under the leadership of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. When Dr. King came to my college campus in 1963, I was anxious to become a part of the civil rights movement, to fight for our civil rights as African Americans. My work with Dr. King and with the civil rights movement of the 60s and the National Federation of the Blind are one of the same. I feel that as an African American, I was fighting for justice, for equality. And it's the same as a blind person. I am fighting and advocating for equality, for our civil rights. I began my blindness journey early in life, but I didn't talk about it. When I was in elementary school and high school, did I experience some symptoms of retinitis pigmentosa? Absolutely, but I didn't talk about it. And when I did, it seemed as if no one believed me. It seemed to me that my parents didn't want to talk about it. They didn't want to bring attention to my inability to see at that time. And so I thought it was something to be ashamed of. During the high school years, I never thought that I would lose my sight entirely. It just never occurred to me that that would happen. In Durham, North Carolina, most of the doctors that I visited at that time were unable to tell me what was really going on with my eyes. And it wasn't until I actually graduated from college, moved to New Jersey, and that's when I went to Wills Eye Hospital in Philadelphia. And that's when I was officially diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa, and told that I would more than likely go blind. I was really devastated when I first was told that I would probably go blind. I cried. I felt helpless. I didn't know what I was going to do. It was my husband-to-be who actually escorted me to that hospital and learned, as I did, that I would probably go blind. However, we still got married. And unfortunately, my husband could not accept my blindness. And so after being married a year, we had our first child, an only child. And 1 year later, that marriage was dissolved. During this part of my journey, being a single mom, trying to get to work on a daily basis, I certainly could not drive. So relying on public transportation, trying to get to work, take my son to the daycare, was a very difficult time in my life. Very, very, very difficult. I was depressed a lot, feeling sorry for myself, but had hope and believed that someday things would be better for me. That's the hope I never gave up. And it was in 1987 that I received a call from Jackie Billy, who then was a membership developer for the National Federation of the Blind. She told me about the National Federation of the Blind and asked me to attend a convention. So I attended that convention in Phoenix, Arizona in 1987. And I think that's when the real truth of blindness hit me. Because when I got to that convention and there were so many blind professionals, people walking around using their canes and people using guide dogs and people just doing things, blind people doing things that couldn't imagine we could do. Reading Braille. I was so inspired and wanted to do those things too. So that was the beginning for me. If I could go back in time, probably at the age of 16, I would say, make someone know and understand that you need help, that it's out there, and that you don't have to suffer alone because you're feeling sorry for yourself or ashamed. There isn't anything to be ashamed of because you are blind or visually impaired. Learning and believing that it's respectable to be blind is one of the most important tools you can ever learn. One of the things about being a part of the National Federation of the Blind, we are never alone. No matter what it is we are struggling with, there's someone else out there who has struggled with the same. And there's always someone who can share and teach you how to deal with the challenge or the struggle. So you're never alone.